broadcasting live the World Business Forum 2016, and I am so delighted to have Chris McChesney, who wrote the 4 Disciplines of Execution, and he spent 15 years focusing on one thing. How are you feeling today?
Good, very good. Thank you so much.
So my first question would be, you know that we as students sometimes just like are not able to actually do things because we have so many things going on. What would be your suggestion? Because you know that here we're a Laureate community and there's a lot of people watching back home. So what would be your suggestion? Like, what kind of skills do you think we need to develop in order to be able to focus actually? And also, how can we filter what to focus on? How can we actually realize, okay, this is more important than this?
Yeah, I think this is true for business. This is true for business leaders, and this is true for individuals. In everyone's life, there are those things that have to be maintained, right? Life support, right? You got to function as an individual. And then there are those things we want to blow the doors off of. We really want to accelerate. Don't mix them up. So recognize that there's a lot of things, maybe 80% of my life is life support. I got to get up in the morning. Everybody's got to do this. I got to get through my classes. I got to maintain a certain GPA. I got to do certain things. But there's one thing that I'm going to bank on, and I'm going to really put energy behind it. And the 4 disciplines are some special disciplines to put behind that thing that's really important and isn't going to happen unless I really dedicate myself. So separating, I think, is the first step. Don't try and be great at everything. That's my story.
Wow, that's amazing. So basically, you're saying you need to create a culture of execution within yourself.
Yeah.
But how do you do that?
Well,
how do you create a culture? Because I'm looking at my life, I'm looking at everyone's life. How do you create that culture?
All right, well, I'll tell you, and you tell me if you think this will work or not, okay? Because we have played with applying these principles on an individual level. So the very first step I already said, and it's picking one thing. Okay, it's not picking 5 things. It's not bouncing. That's what we love to do. And I have this hyperactivity issue. I do it a lot. Okay, but it's picking one thing. The second thing is try to pick what things you can achieve that would get you to that thing. We call them lead measures, right? People know if they want to lose weight, they got to focus on, and they got to count how many calories they've eaten, how many calories they've burned. If I'm an artist, right? I've got to how many portraits am I going to produce? If I'm trying to run a marathon, right? I've got to break it down into smaller, measurable, and then I got to measure it. It isn't enough to know it. I want you to measure it. That's step 2. Step 3, I want a visual representation. I want a scoreboard. I want you to see this thing. I want it on your bedroom door. I want you to track both the leading indicators, the stuff you're doing, and the result. And then finally, you see, you got to really want something to do this. The last one, this is the hardest one. You want an accountability coach. You got to sign somebody up that you have to meet with every week and show them the ugly mirror and say, I was off this week and I'm getting back on, or I got it done. But you want to have some type of external accountability. So if you can narrow the focus, figure out the lead indicators, create a visibility around it, and then hold yourself to accountability, you will be shocked at what you can accomplish.
Wow.
So thank you very much for that. You know that here there's kids watching back home, and I would like to give you this opportunity. You have the opportunity to talk to the future leaders.
Oh.
So let's take some seconds to think about it, and then what would be your message to all these kids watching back home?
All right. Make sure you are playing a winnable game. This is the biggest driver of morale and engagement. It's some part of your life, and have it be something outside of yourself. Pick something where you can make a contribution, where you can have meaning, and stay with that until you can start to see the fruits of it. Even small things can have a huge impact on your confidence and your ability to do bigger things later on.
That would be your message. Thank you very much. I think that everyone who has listened to this is going to be actually inspired, as I think we both are, and everyone in this studio is. Thank you very much for being here, and everyone at home, use it. We'll be right back.